What's up guys, it's PBK and we're back with another disassembly video. Today we're going to take apart the Moto Z2 Force. Okay, here's the phone. First thing you're going to want to do, remove the SIM tray on top. Once you got that removed, next you're going to have to heat up the screen. You're going to heat it up so the adhesive will come apart more easier. Once you have it heated up a little bit, use the pry tool to separate the screen from the frame. Just put your pry tool in between the screen and the black frame of the phone. And it has a couple of catches on the corners. It has 4 catches. So be careful, you're not going to be able to bypass them whenever you're moving your pry tool down. Start from the corner. Now once you got your pry tool in, you can put something to hold it up. And work your way down. Once you see it stops, you're gonna have to go out so you pass that catch and go back in. And then work your way more down. And there's another catch over here, so you're gonna have to pull out again. Go around the catch, and then you can go back further down. Okay, now work your way around the top. The top has a lot of adhesive, so it's gonna be a little more difficult, but take your time. You're going to pry it off. And work your way around to the other side. And get to a catch over here. Go around it. There's another one over here. Go around that one as well. Work your way towards the bottom of the phone. Okay, now the screen is put in like a lip to the bottom side of the frame. So you're gonna have to stick a pry tool in the bottom between the screen and the frame. Just work your way from one corner to the other corner to get the adhesive loosened. And you're going to want to separate the screen forward away from the frame so the catch is removed from the bottom lip. And there's some adhesive underneath over here too, you're going to have to loosen up. Now remember, the screen cables are going to be on the bottom left area of the phone, so be careful you don't damage it. And you're going to lift up from the right side. You're going to separate the screen. Okay, next, you're going to have to remove this plastic cover over the battery connector. You're just going to have to pry it up, and it comes off. And you're going to disconnect the battery connector off the main board. Just pop it up. Now on the bottom where the screen connector connects to the board, there's like a protective sticker over here, like a foamy sticker. Just go ahead and pry off that sticker so you can disconnect the cable from the board. Once you got the tape removed, lift the lock up on the latch to unlock it. Once it's unlocked, pull your cable off, and that will separate the screen from the board. So now you're left with the screen. And your main board. Okay, next you're going to remove these 2 black plastic pieces on the bottom of the phone next to each side of the charger port. And these black plastic pieces have some drawn antenna lines running through them. So if you ever have any type of reception issue or like a Wi-Fi issue, these are the first things I'll take a look at. They're held down with T4 screws. You're gonna have to remove 2 on each side, total of 4. Plastic piece looks like this. And if you see this tan line running through the plastic, that's the antenna line that's drawn on it. Here's the other one. See those tan parts? There's on the back also. Alright, next you're going to disconnect the cable that goes for your power and volume keys. Just unlock the latch by popping it up. And go ahead and pull the cable out. Move to the side a little bit. Alright, now you're going to have 3 T4 screws on the black plastic piece on top. Go ahead and remove those. Now once you got the screws off, you're gonna have to separate this cable over here, this flex cable that goes to the sensor over here. So separate that from the black piece. Like so. Alright, next go ahead and separate the black piece from the frame by lifting it up and pulling it away. Comes off. This is your earpiece speaker and your loudspeaker. Now we're going to remove the main cameras, which are the cameras that are facing the back of the phone. Just use your pry tool to separate the camera from the frame of the phone. Just make sure not to damage the board or the camera. It's held on with adhesive, so you're going to have to pry it up. Just be gentle. Alright, now we're going to disconnect the cable that connects to the board for the camera. Just pop up the latch to unlock it. It's a black color latch. Once it's unlocked, pull the camera off. Alright, next you're going to separate the vibrator from your frame. You can use your pry tool. I'm going to use a flathead, a small one, to get underneath it. And just separate it so it's loose. Now we can pry the main board from the frame. Start from one corner, lift it up, so get underneath it. And then use the pry tool so you don't damage any chips that might be underneath it, any resistors, anything like that. Okay, now continue separating the board from the frame. Work your way down. You can use some heat to loosen up the adhesive to make it easier to pry off. So here's your main board. Here's the back side of it. Here's the front of the board. And now you're left with the frame and the battery. And you have your water damage indicator over here. It's a sticker with the 3 red X's. So in case it ever gets in contact with water, it'll either turn pink or red. Alright, let's go ahead and reassemble the phone. You can take the main board. Make sure your cables don't get stuck underneath. Cable for the battery and for your volume and power key. Alright, once that's in place, we're going to put the camera back in. We're going to connect to the main board. Slide into the connector and press down the lock so it locks in place. Put the camera back in. Next, put the black top plastic that has the earpiece speaker in back in its place. Lift up this cable over here, this flex cable for the sensor. You're gonna put the bottom in first, make sure it's clicked in place. Click the top back in. Now you can put this flex cable back over its place. Now go ahead and put the 3 screws back in. Next, go ahead and connect the power cable to the power switch back on the main board. Once it's in place, lock it down. Next, you're gonna have to put the black plastic antenna pieces back in their place. So you're gonna put the left one in. Go ahead and put the screws back on. Put the right one back in. Put the screws in place. Now go ahead and put the screen back in. Connect the screen cable back to the main board. Once you got it in, lock it down. Next, go ahead and connect the battery back onto the board. Once you pop it back in, once you got the battery connected, go ahead and put the black plastic piece back in. It has a lip on the side of the back piece, which goes inside the frame. First, put the lip back in. Once it's slid in, just press down on the connector and it will stay in place. Now go ahead and put the screen back in. Put the bottom in first so those tabs go back inside the frame. Slide it down in. And then you can push the rest of it in. Now power on the phone, and you're ready to go.
Hello, Moto.